Xabi Alonso has been here before. He's survived matches with 10 men. He's turned chaos into strategy, not once, but twice this season. But 9 men? That's a spiritual experience. And honestly, I'm too tired to talk about La Liga referees. I don't feel them anymore. They're not even worth my oxygen. So today, we're not going there. No ref rants, no VAR conspiracies. We've transcended. We are now pure tactical suffering. Welcome to the White News Tactical Comedy. Let's dissect the 90-minute pain session known as Real Madrid 0 to Celta Vigo.
From the heart of Madrid, where passion meets purpose.
It was a legacy built by legends and a future written by rising stars.
Let's talk about Xabi's lineup. On paper, 4-2-2-2. On the pitch, more like 4-1-3-2 with chewing gum and crossed fingers. Here's what we got. Carreras at LCB, new signing, out of position. Militao at RCB until minute 24 when the football gods pulled him. Asensio at RB, a center back trying cosplay at fullback. Fran Garcia at LB, finally someone in his actual role. Despite the great performance of the duo Militao and Rudiger in the last match with Athletic, Alonso decided to rest Rudiger for the start of this match, and he decided to put Carreras here in the position of Rudiger. And the reason Carreras played LCB instead of Asensio? Because Valverde had to cover the entire right flank, which meant Asensio had to take RB, which meant Carreras at LCB, which meant Fran at LB, which meant I needed emotional support. Midfield, Tchouaméni, absolutely vital. Bellingham, great form recently, but not today. Anyway, he was the best box-to-box option available. Güler, clearly not in form and not functional without a double pivot behind him. But still, who else brings magic? No one! So Xabi gambled. And the front two? Vinicius and Mbappe. You know the rule, they play, always. Now, context. We're missing Huijsen, Trent, Camavinga. Mastantuono was technically back but not ready. And we've got a Champions League match in 4 days. So this lineup, it wasn't brilliant, but it was the only thing left. So with that patchwork squad taped together, we kicked off at the Bernabéu, and from the very first minute, it didn't feel right. First half, no way home. Celta said, "You expected a low block? That's cute." Instead, they pressed us for 40 full minutes. And let's be honest, this isn't new. We already fell apart against Liverpool this season in the exact same way. No Modric, no Kroos, this squad still got cooked. Celta copied the blueprint. And surprise, it worked. We had 60+% possession, but zero control. 11 shots, 4 on target, mostly outside the box. XG, 1.39. Actual goals, nada. Now, here's the painful detail. This was a day when Bellingham was clearly not in good form, and that left a gaping hole in our press resistance. With Güler unable to operate freely and no double pivot to support him, we had no one in midfield who could break or bypass Celta's press. Zero, nada. And then, another blow. Militao went down, minute 24. And not only did we lose our best center back, we also lost a vital press breaker in the build-up. Militao's passing out from the back, gone. His composure under pressure, gone. The system took a hit, and so did the confidence. Alonso had to bring in Rudiger, who wasn't supposed to play today. That substitution came early and cost us flexibility later. Celta, still solid, still organized, still pressing. Until the 40th minute, they finally dropped deep, and we still couldn't break them. At home, at the Bernabéu. Unreal.
And then came the second half, and that's when it all really started to unravel. See, the flaw in our system, the fatal one, finally showed its face, and it wasn't just about Güler. It wasn't about one mistake. It was structural. Güler had to drop deep to support Tchouaméni in the midfield, because without a double pivot, that's what had to happen. But then he stepped up to press like he's supposed to, and behind him, just emptiness. No one filled that space. Valverde was locked wide, trying to hold the flank. Rudiger, he's not the kind of center back who steps up into midfield space. Tchouaméni and Bellingham couldn't shift over in time. And Celta, fair play, they read that space like a book. They slipped through, broke the press, and in one clean move, punished the system. Swedberg scores, 1-0. And the most painful part? Rodrigo was standing on the sideline. Alonso was about to make his first change, 2 seconds too late. After that goal, Celta did the logical thing. They dropped back, packed their lines. They played for the lead, because at the Bernabéu, that's survival. And us? We collapsed into that familiar nightmare, facing a deep block with no creativity left in midfield. When the magic doesn't come from the middle, Vinicius and Mbappe are left trying to break walls with water pistols. They ran, they tried, but everything fizzled. No space, no combos, no threat. Ironically, and hear me clearly, we actually played better once we were down to 10. Yeah, that's right. Minute 64, Fran Garcia, red card. And suddenly, we looked sharper. Why? Because Xabi has trained this team to play with 10. He's done it twice. It's not new. They understand the compact shape, the overload zones, the counters. But the finishing? Still the same story. 12 shots, only 3 on target, no end product, no reward. There were small bright spots. We attacked down both flanks, and for once, the right side even looked more dangerous. Why? Because Celta overloaded their own right side just to shut down Vini and Mbappe. That left some scraps open for Valverde and co., but we couldn't capitalize. Rodrigo came in and barely left a footprint. Xabi even brought in Gonzalo Gracia in the 74th, hoping for a classic target man moment in the box. But guess what? No crosses. So Gracia, he started dropping outside the box, trying to link play, recover buildup. Just get involved. It wasn't his role, but it was all he could do. And from there, the match dissolved into a mess of whistles, red cards, and referee theater. I said I wouldn't talk about the officiating, and I won't. But you felt it. We all did.
Now, even in a match like this, there were 2 players who refused to go down quietly. 2 players who stood tall when everything else crumbled. Let's start with Aurélien Tchouaméni. He was, without a doubt, the only one who fully understood the assignment. In a midfield that was constantly under siege, Tchouaméni held the line. 7 recoveries, 10 duels won. He shielded the defense like a wall, and when things fell apart, he became the defense. Dropped into the back line when needed, no complaints, no hesitation. But he didn't just defend. He was also the one trying to start things. 6 key passes, the highest in the team. And not just safe passes. 4 of them were line-breaking long balls, sprayed with intent, looking for movement that just wasn't there. Sadly, he was alone. Then there was Álvaro Carreras. Now, remember, this is a young man thrown into a role he's not built for. Left center back, debut start at the Bernabéu, out of position, and he handled it. His tackling? Perfect. Ground duels? Dominant. 7 out of 9 won. He cut off attack after attack before Celta even reached the edge of our box. Calm on the ball, fierce without it. He gave everything. Until the moment he snapped. That late red card for dissent dulled the shine on what was otherwise an outstanding performance. But let's not forget how well he held his ground before that moment. Carreras showed courage, and for a club like Real Madrid, that matters. And look, beyond the tactics, beyond the shape, the data, the press resistance charts, this one just hurt. It hurt to watch, it hurt to talk about, it hurts right now. Because honestly, it felt like no one even wanted to be out there. Except 2 men, Tchouaméni and Carreras. The rest floating, wandering, staring into the void.
And that's the terrifying part. No backup plan for the double pivot, no real alternatives when someone's out of form. We're basically flying through a storm with duct tape on the wings and a paper pilot license. Totally disappointing, but also necessary. Because this game, this was a giant flashing warning sign to the staff, to the board, to anyone still wearing sunglasses inside Valdebebas. Fix this or forget titles. We're 4 points behind Barcelona. We're running out of players, rhythm, and excuses. But hey, this is Real Madrid. We've seen worse. We've survived worse. We don't quit. We just lose dramatically, break a few remotes, and come back angry. So no, we won't forget this match. We'll carry it like trauma, replay it in nightmares, and use it as fuel, because that's how we bounce back. And let's be honest, sacking Xabi right now isn't the magic fix some people dream it is. You'd think a new coach suddenly conjures a working double pivot out of air? A fresh press breaker? A system? A spine? Nope. This isn't about tactics anymore. This is about structure, identity, players who want to fight. And yes, Xabi can lead this team, but only if the club actually builds something for him to lead. Hala Madrid, always, especially in hell.
If you survived that game, smash like. If you screamed at the ref, subscribe. If you broke something in your living room, comment below. And hey, everything I've said today is just my opinion, my tactical breakdown, my emotional meltdown. You're welcome to agree, disagree, or drop your own take in the comments. This is Madrid. We argue, we suffer, we stick together. I'll see you next time, hopefully with 11 players. Hasta la próxima. Hala Madrid.